Welcome back, my friends. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul, and we are the channel Frugal Money Saver. How is everyone? Yay, you're back. If you are new here, welcome. We're an early retirement couple living in the state of New York. We are debt-free, and we just show you how to live life more abundantly with less money. So today's video, I'm super excited about. I love when I get to do these. I go to my refrigerator, I look in, and I see a piece of this or a little bit of that, or I've been saving something in the freezer and it's time to use it up. These are my zero food waste videos. And today, I think this one is really extra special because what we're doing is creating 2 foods that you can use over the holiday season that we made from things basically that were not getting used up in our home, and we needed to use them. So I had to think creatively and turn them into something that would be worthy of the upcoming week before Christmas and possibly through Christmas. So I think these 2 recipes are definitely going to do that. And one of them, well, I had to make lunch for Paul, so it is a kicked up grilled cheese sandwich, and it is amazing. I call it my adult grilled cheese sandwich. And then I also take some orange peels that you would normally discard, and I turn them into the most amazing candied orange peel. And then we take apples and we make them into a copycat caramel fried apple recipe like you would find at Cracker Barrel. So just some yummy food. I hope you are doing well, all of you. Thank you so much for the Christmas cards you have been sending. Just know if you sent me a Christmas card, I sent you one back. It may take a little while. I only get to the post office box maybe once or twice a week, but soon as I do, I come home and I write out those cards. So thank you for remembering Paul and I. It means a lot to us. So without me rambling anymore, let's get to work. This is what we are starting with. A small chunk of cheddar cheese that needs to be used up. A bunch of frozen orange peels that I've been putting in the freezer, apples that have been in my refrigerator for several weeks at least, and just an end and a regular piece of bread that I figured we could use up. So this is what we're going to start with, and I can't wait to show you what we're going to end up with. The first recipe we're going to start with, because it goes into the crock pot, is kind of like a copycat recipe of Cracker Barrel's fried apples. It's apples, it's cinnamon, it's brown sugar, and you put them in the crock pot. They make a delightful side dish, even a dessert over ice cream. It's just a perfect way to use up apples. Minimal prep and maximum flavor. I read the recipe and I need a cup of brown sugar. I am out of brown sugar. I know, you can gasp. I gasped. So I said to myself, what can I do? Well, thank goodness for Google. I have got a cup of white sugar, and they said substitute for brown sugar white sugar and molasses together. Well, Emmy and Paul do not have molasses in the house either. You can gasp yet again. They said another substitute would be a cup of white sugar and some pure maple syrup, about a tablespoon. Now I have that, so we are going to make our own brown sugar. They say the taste is pretty much the same, and the syrup gives it a depth of flavor that you're not going to find with just the white sugar. So I'm just going to mix this together and make our own homemade brown sugar. Remember, when you are doing minimal food waste, zero food waste, hopefully, you're going to use up what you have. It's not about running to the store because you don't have an item. look to substitute. See what you can use in place of. Point and case. I don't know if you can hear Dixie drinking. You guys have such good ears. I'm always getting comments like, I hear a cat in the background, or is that Dixie drinking? So yes, it was. Point and case, the brown sugar. I am not going to get in my car and run to the supermarket. I am going to use this mock brown sugar that I made with the maple syrup. We have 6 apples that have been washed, peeled, cored, and sliced. We have 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to need some cinnamon, a drop of nutmeg, and a little cornstarch. That is it. The crock pot is not turned on yet. And before I turn it on, I am going to grease it with one of my butter wrappers. Now we're going to put it together right in the crock pot. I'm going to put my apples in. I usually do our cooking in the morning. So the funny outfits I have on are usually my pajamas, like with a flannel shirt thrown over it. So that's why if you see like all these different patterns on my arm. I'm going to take our 1 cup of sugar. And if this seems like too much for you, by all means, you can cut it down. We're putting in 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, a heaping teaspoon of cinnamon, and you can adjust that to taste, and then just a sprinkle of nutmeg. Now I'm going to mix this together, and now I'm going to take our 3 tablespoons of butter that I just cut into pieces. I'm going to sprinkle those in, and we're just going to let this cook on high for about 2 hours or low for about 4 hours. I'm going to do the high for 2 hours. In about an hour, I'm going to put my timer on. I'm going to come back and mix it. And we're going to cover it now. This cooked about 2.5 hours. Look at this. It is so thick and delicious. You know we keep it real on this channel. Paul tasted it, and what did you say, Paul?
I think it's perfect. It is sweet, but it's definitely, you could put this on a pie. You could put this on ice cream. It's delicious.
Okay. I thought it was a little too sweet. I would definitely have cut the sugar down to probably a 1/2 cup. But oh my goodness, the flavor. I would serve this like if you were making a pork roast or something like that on the side instead of applesauce. It is just delicious. It is so good. The possibilities are endless. And what's great is you can see the apples stayed in chunks. They're a little firm. I would give this a 10 plus for ease, for taste, and just for this time of year. A perfect accompaniment. Every time we would eat an orange, before we would eat it, I would wash it thoroughly if it was not an organic orange, and even if it was an organic orange, wash it thoroughly. And I would take the peels and stick them in a freezer bag in the freezer. Now what I'm going to do with these is make some candied orange peel. It is so delicious to have fresh candied orange peel to use in your recipes, fruitcake, cookies, whatever your imagination can think of. And also they are a tasty treat to just eat like that. You can even dip them in chocolate, but this is another way to make something that you would normally throw away into something that is actually a very high-end, expensive treat. This is equivalent to about 3 oranges worth of peel. And what we did is cut them into approximately 1/4 inch slices. Most candied orange peel recipes will say you have to remove as much pith, which is this white, as you can. We're gonna do it a little differently because that can be a very tedious process. We are going to boil them twice, and I will show you how to do this, and that removes the bitterness of the pith. There's only literally 3 ingredients that you need for this recipe: sugar, orange peel, and water. That is it. I boil the water And now I'm going to take the orange peel and just add it. Your house is going to smell so amazing when you do this. And I am just going to let this boil for 15 minutes. If you see it's boiling crazy, lower the heat. Keep an eye on it. You don't want this water to evaporate. So 15 minutes, we're going to boil these, and then we're going to rinse them, and we're going to do it one more time. These have boiled for 15 minutes, so I'm going to turn off my stove. This is very hot, as you can see. Be careful. We're going to come over to the sink, and I am going to drain them. Be careful. I'm going to rinse out this pot too. And then with cold water, I'm going to rinse them. And I am going to repeat the boil process again with clean water. So I'm going to take these, add them back to the pot, cover them with water, and I am going to boil them for another 15 minutes. What this does is get the bitterness out of the peel. So you're just going to have that wonderful citrus taste. We just finished the second boil, so I'm going to rinse these. And now I'm going to wait for the pot I cook them in to cool, and I am going to wash the pot out. Any kind of bitter debris we don't want in the pot. So I'm going to let the pot cool because it's very hot, and then I'm going to wash it. Then we'll show you the next step. Now I'm going to take 1 cup of water and put it into a saucepan. And to that, I'm going to add 1, and it's just about 2 cups of sugar, 1 3/4 roughly. I know that may seem like a lot of sugar, but you have to realize if you've ever tasted an orange peel, they're bitter. Now what I'm going to do is just give this a stir and let the sugar dissolve. So this has dissolved beautifully. Now I'm going to take the orange peel and I'm just going to add it to this syrup mixture. And we are going to cook this on a simmer. A simmer is not a boil, remember that. It's just a very low heat. And we're going to let this simmer for 45 minutes to an hour. Keep an eye on it. You don't want that water to evaporate. You can give it a stir every little bit, just check on it. What's going to happen is the sugar is going to get thicker and it's going to start to coat these orange peels. Peels cooked on a very low simmer for an hour, and you can see how glossy they look and beautiful. Do not throw this liquid away that you cook these in. This becomes a simple syrup. What we're going to do is carefully, because this is hot, drain them. And you are going to want to keep that simple syrup. Believe me. Let it cool a minute before you even try to handle it. So we're just going to leave it over this bowl and let it drip. Our orange peels have drained and cooled. Now what I'm going to do is take them and add them to a bowl that has about 1/4 cup of granulated sugar in it. And I am just going to coat them with that granulated sugar. What this does is it helps in the drying process so that they don't remain sticky, and it also adds a bit more sweetness to it. Look at how beautiful these are. I took a cookie sheet, put some foil under it, and I put a wire rack on top, and now I am just going to take these delectable treats and I am going to spread them out on this wire rack so that they will dry. And we are going to let them dry at room temperature for about a day or so, depending on how chewy you like them, but at least a day. You want to leave them out and just let them air dry. Now this bowl of liquid is what we cooked the orange peel in with the sugar. Do not throw this out. Store it in your refrigerator. You can use this simple syrup in so many ways. You can sweeten cold drinks with it, like iced tea, lemonade, iced coffee. You could add it to fruit salad. You can put it over pancakes and waffles. You can see it's thick and it's going to have this lovely orange essence to it, just delicious. You can put it over oatmeal. There are so many things you can do with this simple syrup. So store this in your refrigerator. It should last at least a week. Use it up. Do not waste it. It is so delightful. Such humble ingredients will be turned into the most amazing grilled cheese you've ever tasted. So we've got this like little piece of cheddar cheese that needs to be used, 1 slice of American cheese, last 2 slices of bread in the package, which always seem to get overlooked, and I have to make breadcrumbs out of them, and then a little bit of butter. We melted about a teaspoon of butter, and now I'm going to take my bread, I'm going to put it in there like that. I'm going to put just 1 slice of American cheese, and then around the edges, we're going to put a little bit of the cheddar. There we go. Now we're going to let that cook for a minute. I'm going to take the end piece. I buttered the outside, and I'm going to lay that right on top of the cheese. So now you have a nice little sandwich. Now what I'm going to do is take a little of the cheddar, and I'm going to put that on top of the buttered bread. I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it. Yes, I am. Just like that. Now what we're going to do, I lowered the heat to low. We're going to put this on here as well. On the outside of this side. Wait till you taste this. Talk about a grown-up grilled cheese sandwich. I did lower it to low now because we don't want to burn it. You're just going to let that sit. So it cooked for about a minute. Now what I'm going to do is go under, and I'm going to flip it again. And you can see this cheese has actually crisped up and baked right into the bread. Now we're going to let this sit for another minute to melt the cheese on the inside. So it cooked for about another minute. This is a grown-up grilled cheese. Look at this grilled cheese. It is crispy on the outside, and it just dresses up a grilled cheese so much. It elevates it. There's Paul's lunch. I convinced Paul to please take a bite of the grown-up grilled cheese. Here it is. Ooh, I hear a crunch.
Wow. That's good. That's really good.
Here's our finished products. We have our grilled cheese, our grown-up grilled cheese with a crispy outside. We have our delicious candied orange peel. This is just some of it. Over here, we have our caramelized crock pot apples over ice cream. Each one of these is a 0 food waste recipe. Bon appetit. So what did you think? I hope you were encouraged by this video. That's what these kind of videos are for, to encourage you to look in your refrigerator, in your freezer, see things that need to be used up and use them. Be creative. Think of ways that you can incorporate bits and pieces of this and that into a meal. And you turn these leftovers or foods that need to be consumed pretty quickly into delicious recipes that no one would even believe. These are recipes using items that you were like kind of on the fence about what to do with. It's a week before Christmas, and we're thinking of you. We're praying for you. We hope you are all doing well. We know these are different times. We're trying to just keep encouraging you, to let you know you are loved. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and become part of our family. And by all means, remember to click that notification bell. I put a surprise video out yesterday, and you guys loved it, and it made us feel so good about the snowstorm we had and the birds coming to our feeder. But I want you to be aware when we do make a new video. So click on that bell and be subscribed to our channel and the alerts that go with it. We love you. We wish you blessings, and until our next video, be well, please. Bye-bye.